where my story as a celebrant is being told. So I felt fitting, as invited by Sabine, to hold the space for the 2-minute silence. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you for honouring those lost during conflict and COVID. And we also remember family members who have recently passed. May their souls last in an eternal shift to peace. Shift, a new era begins. Some risked, some dared, some shifted while others stared. Some failed, some fell, some thrived, but all went well. We hoped, we coped, we had faith in the future. We no longer drift, we lift, and we choose to shift. I'd now like to hand you over to Marie, who is going to read the Shift poem.
This poem is in memory of Jean Kay, who passed away recently and was a contributor to the book. It's called Pandemic Shifts. Often in life, we need to shift gears, allowing changes to take place. But when mandatory rules appear, that's a different shift to face. Stay home, stay safe, keep your distance. Those were huge shifts to make. Suddenly, routines had to change for all of us, for our health's sake. Once we got over the initial shock, new routines were created. Work from home, no visiting seniors, no large gatherings, especially sports related. Priorities changed in an instant. No dining out, no concerts, no shows. Essential service jobs only allowed as expert advice continued to flow. It's a time to slow down and take stock. What do we need to be doing? Are we following our life purpose? Are our goals really worth pursuing? Many thousands of lives were lost due to the virus COVID-19. Those of us who survived it are grateful they created a vaccine. Whether we create personal shifts in life or are told what we must do, there are many positive steps to take, so our light will keep shining through. Jean Kay.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Jackie and Marie. I'm here. I'm Sabine Matharu, and I am the host today, and I'm super proud of this project, the Shift book that has been created together with 24 other co-authors who are, some of them are in the room right now. We had an earlier session this morning where the other half were present because we've got 15 different nations living in 10 different countries, I think. So that's how many people and so much diversity we have in this book. Next to me is my amazing husband, Pripal, who is part of the team, and he's done all the graphic design and the concept around the book. So he'll talk about this in a minute as well. So welcome, everyone. I'm just going to do a bit of an introduction about the book, and then we'll have plenty of space to hear from all the amazing co-authors because we want to hear their stories and we want to give you an insight of what's inside the book as well. So let's continue. So thank you, Jackie, for being here today. It's been absolutely topical to remember, and I know Jackie has to leave, so she'll be able to stay the whole entire day. So this is a little bit about me. There is me. I'm actually the founder of the Empowerment Portal, and I'm also a business coach. And this is actually the third book in a series. As you can see, there are 2 books that have been produced and launched already in 2019, Rise in Pursuit of Empowerment, 25 stories. Then we were a bestseller in the Joy book as well, Recipes for Abundance in February, just before the pandemic, another 25 stories. And then now we have the third one with so now we have 75 stories in total. And really, this has come about a couple of years ago, 2018. I woke up very clearly with pretty much a mission given to me: go and write a book with 100 inspirational people and share their stories. And every single time I actually didn't know what the next book would be. I really had no clue when I launched the Joy book in February last year that the pandemic would hit us. And then all of a sudden it dawned on me. It was a very strong feeling. I actually talk about this in the book. It's my story about how I had this inspiration of writing the stories about the shift and the pandemic, because I knew everyone would be in the same boat, and that we would all have some sort of shift, some sort of awakening, and the good and the bads. But mainly we've actually tried to capture the goods. That's why it was all about uplifting perspectives. So let me move forwards. So I think I just covered this, why the book and what is it all about. I'll tell you a bit more about what it is all about. So through the lockdown, and so new stories obviously emerged, and the world seemed to have shifted overnight. Many individuals have faced extreme challenges in these times, and we have brought together the voices of this historic era. And what was deemed normal has been questioned and shattered. All of a sudden, the impossible became possible. New ways of working were established, and for the first time, we appreciated people who were working on the front line. So this is what the book is all about, and you will find 25 super diverse stories and goosebumps, tears, emotions, a lot, I promise you. We also have 2 charities involved that we actually are supporting through this book. One is One Slough, which is a local charity to me. And here you see a guy called Jamie Green from Slough CVS, who actually was responsible for setting up vaccination centers, for helping homeless, for getting food shopping to elderly people's homes during the pandemic. So he has been such an instrumental part in my local community. So I would like to honor him and his team, and we would love if you have it in your heart just to donate a few pounds, dollars, whatever you can, to either one of these charities. They are amazing, and their story is also in the book, and you'll find actually these pages at the very back of the Chef book once you receive it, so you'll have that again as well. And then the second story I have here is Leon Arts on the right hand side, who runs Kitchens with Compassion. And Leon, I can see you're on the call, and I'm not sure if you're available to kind of come on camera, unmute, and just say a quick hello, and just share a little bit about what you've been up to, because it's been phenomenal. So
hi.
Hey, let me pin you.
Yeah. Oh, so you want me to go now? Sorry.
If you don't mind, I would love for you to.
Of course. Oh, sorry, the light is very bright behind me. I'm sorry about that. So yes, I started a project just before lockdown, which at the time was called Compassion London. I realized that, England, as many of you might or might not be aware, was very late going into lockdown, but we could see the effects already. So this was March 2020, and people were losing jobs. Even though in a town like London, where there's so much wealth, there's also a lot of poverty. And because of my background, I've been in the food industry all my life, I realized that many people would go hungry during the pandemic. And, that was the time when we really didn't know what was hitting us. And I thought, it's going to be terrible, but it's going to be over in 3 months. And so I just had a thought, and I put a post on Facebook saying, London's going to be hungry. All these chefs are going to be at home. All these kitchens are going to be empty. We're going to help. We're going to cook thousands of meals every day. It's going to be called Compassion London. Who has a kitchen? And then, the sort of an avalanche started to happen. Like 2 days later, I find a kitchen. 5 days later, we were cooking, and we did 600 meals on the first day with, 6 or 7 of us. And a week later, there was 30, 40 people helping, and we did 1,600 meals a day. And we had drivers and charities who distributed the food. And, that went all of a sudden very fast. And in 14 months, we did, with only volunteers, 650,000 meals. So like average 2,500 every day, helping London's most vulnerable. And what's really important, we did that with surplus food. So food which otherwise would go to waste. Perfectly good food, And what was most beautiful was not just the thousands of people we helped by giving them healthy and nutritious meals, but the hundreds and the hundreds of volunteers which showed up and came and helped us to do this work. And that's how I think back at it. You know, I didn't really experience lockdown because I was very busy, but it was so beautiful that all these people came and helped, and together we did an amazing job. And we were in some of the biggest kitchen of London. One kitchen we were in, that was like after 6 weeks of lockdown, we were in Wembley Stadium, one of the biggest kitchens in the country, where we did 5,000 meals a day. So yeah, that's what I do.
That's so brilliant. Thank you so much, Leon. I just noticed you're actually wearing the same shirt as on your picture inside the book. We see that. I'm just holding it up.
Yeah.
If I may just share, this is, you know, during the presentation, we'll just share sort of bits of the physical book so everyone can actually see and enjoy and actually see it's a really beautiful colored kind of paperback. And I would definitely recommend get the paperback because you can just dip in and out. Leon, would you like to read your mantra? Can you see this, or do you want me to read it for you?
No, I can see it. I know it by heart. It's very simple, really. And, you know, I stand by this every day. And when I heard it the first time, I didn't understand it, and it took me a while. But basically, it's be still like a mountain and flow like a river. It's so be still like a mountain and flow like a river. And it's a very old Chinese proverb, which is thousands of years old. And that stillness is about the stillness within. The stiller you are within, the more flow we have in our life. And for me, flow is about totally in tune with, you know, something which is bigger than us, something which is higher than us, and let that come through you. And when I explain it to people, it's you know, imagine these big, beautiful mountains in, you know, wherever you are in the world, where there's snow on the top. That mountain is absolutely still. And then the rivers of the melting snow, they can trickle down and they become big rivers. That can only happen when the mountain is absolutely still. Imagine there is an earthquake and the mountain shakes, the river goes like, you know, water drops everywhere. And in our life, it's exactly the same. If we don't have that stillness within, then yeah, we can't flow.
Beautiful. Wow. Thank you. The chat is going crazy for you. They're rooting for you. Brilliant. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Pleasure.
Okay, so yeah, well, how do you follow that on? I think it's your turn now.
It's my turn.
I was just going to share my screen again. So I just want to introduce the team. So there he is. There is our graphic designer, and maybe you can just explain what was your thoughts in terms of the bubbles. We've got bubbles in the front. We've got bubbles throughout the book.
Incredible. What a pleasure and honor it's been to be part of this collaboration and this project. It's been such a powerful, moving, extraordinary thing to be part of. I think it's going to go down in history. It will be part of history. And for many years to come, this has been imprinted forever in our memories. And we'll be talking about this for a very long time. Yeah, so here we are, you know, shift. First it was rise, associated with stars. Then it was joy, associated with flowers. And now this one, shift, with bubbles. Mm-hmm. And Jean quite clearly articulated these things, these scenarios in her beautiful poem, God bless her. Yes, we all associate this time with bubbles, whether our children have been in bubbles in school, whether, you know, it's been in work practices. We all know what bubbles were and are in present. It's just a clear-cut thing to associate with. So yeah, so the whole idea, the whole concept, the whole feeling around this theme is throughout the book. Visually, it's there. The front cover was a joy to be designing.
It was fun, wasn't it?
A lot of fun.
We had to ask a number of people to get into some weird positions.
It's just not weird. It's just a feeling. I mean, some made it and some didn't. And the people that, well, some of you that sent us those images in, some of them worked and some didn't, and I had to make those decisions aesthetically. But the outcome was fun, and I really enjoyed being part of it. I congratulate each and every one of you to be part of this project. Congratulations once again. Yeah, we are creating history here, guys, and long live it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Okay, so that was a prepo, and then we also have Sam, who is our copywriter, who was in the call earlier this morning. So thank you to her once again for putting up with everyone, because there's 25 different stories, 25 different individuals to deal with, and she's been ever so patient, and she's been super amazing, because it takes also a certain team player, I would say, to create a book like this and to be part of this. So where can you buy the book? Well, this is the link. I will momentarily put it in the chat as well. And I'll show you what happens when you actually go to this particular link. So basically you get bonuses. So you can go to Amazon. So it doesn't matter where you are in the world. Hopefully you have some local Amazon somewhere. We can supply this book to you. But when you click the button, it will just go to your local Amazon page, and you can then see the Kindle version or the paperback version. As I said, I am a bit biased. I would absolutely go for the paperback, because I love having this book on my shelf and just opening it. It's not a book that you sort of read from A to Z. It's like dipping in and out. And I'll tell you, the Kindle version doesn't do it justice at all. So yeah, I would say, or get both. What you do then is you can come in and you can grab your bonuses. The reason why we ask you for your email is so that I can email you the links and all the bits and pieces for the bonus, so you can then go and grab that. I mean, the reason why we put these bonuses together is just because we're a collective and we want to actually add as much value as we can. We want to inspire through this book. We are, obviously marking a historic era. This is going to be under the category of history as well, because we are telling historic stories that are going to live for a long, long time. Okay, so we actually want to add more value. And so what will you get as bonus? Let me tell you. Number one, we have created an amazing, authentic audiobook. I love this the most, because all of the co-authors have actually recorded their stories, and we've put them onto a Google Drive for you to be able to go and download and just listen as and when and on the go, which I'm absolutely excited about. So it's not a boring sort of normal audiobook. It's really authentic, and everyone reads their own story in their own voices and their own accents. So then we have bonus number 2, which is, as I mentioned before, if you remember, I'm the founder of the Empowerment Portal, and I just want to tell you a little bit more about it. Basically, we've collected a range of trainings and programs to actually help people come out of the pandemic, and not only post-COVID, but also to thrive again in their careers, in their private lives, in business, wherever, right? So we've got around about 30 online trainings available inside this amazing empowerment portal. And I would like to give you a 30-day free trial. Okay, so when you go through that and you use this little code here at checkout, SHB launch, then you will be able to get that free trial. So that's on that page as well, once you obviously go through the steps. And then the bonus number 3 you'll get is you can win one of our £5,000 prizes, because a lot of the collaborators have put together all sorts of prizes. I mean, like worth hundreds of pounds each. So we've got like 20 or 30 prizes to do with energy healing, with one-to-one coaching, career coaching, HR coaching. We've got, I think, we've got physical wellness programs. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's well worth doing. Would like you to leave a review on Amazon so that you can actually enter into the prize draw, please. Right? We'll do a draw on the 1st of December. And in order to kind of be part of it, you'll need to be inside our Facebook group as well. So you'll just go through step 3 once you've completed your Amazon review. The reason why I'm asking you to join the group is because even though if I went on Amazon and checked your review, I probably wouldn't be able to contact you unless I have to search you up on Facebook or on LinkedIn. So if you're in the group, I can just quickly message you and say, hey, you're the winner. And I'll actually do the prize draw, and that's going to be a bit of fun on the 1st of December. We'll actually add some more information in, and we'll have some bits and pieces going in between now and the 1st of December into the group. We'll keep it fun and so on, and you'll find out a bit more about the different co-authors. So it'll be entertained until now in the 1st of December. And then on the 1st of December, I'll come in and I'll do like a real draw with a spinning wheel. So it's going to be fun and live. Okay. So that's that. And also you can enter into the prize draw and get more points, right? More points if you were to go and share any of our posts with the hashtag shiftbook, so that I can go and check who's actually shared, and I'll add you into the pot twice, okay? And if you don't know where these posts live, they're on my timeline, they're probably on your friend's timeline, and they're also in that Facebook group, which I just showed a moment ago. So if you join that Facebook group, you'll have all these posts that you can share as well. Okay, now the people that are here today that are our amazing guests, you are already going into the prize draw. So what I need you to do is send me a private message in this Zoom call, like in the chat. The way to do this is you go into the chat box on the bottom, it's going to be a panel, and then you see to everyone, you select my name, so you can send me a private message, and just send me your email so that we know that you have shown up personally and you supported the live launch. So you'll be actually already in the prize draw. And thank you for showing up. Brilliant. I'm talking about the guests. Thank you, co-authors, for sending me your email. Do you want to be in the draw? Okay, I'll add you in as well. Okay, cool. We've had amazing reviews. For example, what another great way to connect to people in the midst of social distancing. I love reading about the positive and deep transformation people are experiencing through COVID-19. This book has plenty of that. If you'd like more hope, to know you're not alone, or to be inspired to see a deeper gift through unexpected challenges the pandemic brought you, this book is great for that. So we thank Kim O'Neill, who's a confidence and interview coach. And I'm not sure if Kim is here today. If you are, just give us a quick hello and thank you.
No, she's not here right now, but she does know about all of this, so she's very happy.
Brilliant. We'll send her the replay. Okay, brilliant. Now I'm coming. I'm sort of yeah. I think my voice is at the end. I really like to. Yeah, I'm going to have a sip of water in a minute, and I'm going to stop talking because I would love to come to the co-authors. Right here you can see a list of all the co-authors in alphabetical order, and not everyone's obviously here. The other half was in the morning because they're in different time zones. But what we'll do now is we'll open up the mic to the co-authors, and they will share very briefly in 2 minutes a bit about their story, about their why, and they can also share their mantra with us and inspire us. Okay, that's what we'll do. We'll stop share the screen for a moment, and we'll start with letter A, and we've got here Alicia. Are you ready, Alicia? And thank you for the amazing comments. Congratulations. Oh, blessings. Thank you.
Hi, I'm here. I'm ready.
Brilliant. You're on screen. You're big on screen and you're ready.
Okay.
Welcome.
Okay, welcome. I wanted to say hi to everyone who's watching in UK and beyond. Absolutely thrilled to be part of Shift. But for me, Shift started just before a pandemic. What made it more, and I think what accelerated everything, it's how quickly pandemic hit. So in December 19, I started talking about health on a TEDx stage. By February, I remember standing in Slovenia talking about vulnerability and importance of health and well-being. And here we go, March 2020, we got into lockdown. But what that opened up for me, it opened up for me that I need to help somehow share that and allow people just to do things in their home, because everything's going to be in a lockdown. Gyms are not working, but there is lots of natural ways you can support your body and support yourself. And then I remember when you came to me and you said, well, would you like to be part of Shift? I was thinking, am I not? And then I thought, actually, there are shifts. They might not be massive shifts. I'm not Tony Robbins or Dean Graziosi, but they are still shifts. And there are still people that need to understand that those little shifts in your life every day that you do, this is what makes a journey bigger. This is what makes your health journey better. And it's those everyday things that you do for your health that will improve your well-being, that will improve your mindset. And it all starts with our health, where I used to think, career is the number one. I've turned it all the way around, because when your health is in the right place, you can manage everything else. Ironically, I'm at the moment suffering with COVID, so in a bubble, but I'm not giving up. So yes, I wanted to say hello to everyone. Don't give up, don't be scared, and continue on your journey, because there are people that need to hear you. There are everyone in this world that will listen or learn something from another person. So that's why I wanted to be part of Shift. Even though I've written some book on my own, I thought, actually, I want to be part of collective. I want to know how that feels and actually be part of that movement. So thank you very much, Sabine, for inviting me.
Thank you, and I hope you're feeling better soon. Let me just share your quote. Would you like to do us the honor?
It's a little small, but I have a laptop next to me as well. So, trust yourself, no matter how treacherous, foggy, misty the journey might seem right now. Rise above fear, as going forward will bring new horizons you haven't even envisioned. So don't ever think that if you're in that fear, just trust yourself, push through it, because on the other side, you don't know what lies down there. So that's what I wanted to share with anyone who's hesitant to share their story, with anyone who's hesitant to say, well, what will other people think? What they're going to think about me? Just share your story, share, and allow other people to learn from you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll go with Bori next. Hello, Bori. And by the way, Bori is an amazing photographer. She's done my pictures in the book as well. Just wanted to acknowledge her, and I'll share that later.
Thank you, and hello everyone, and I'm really honored to be part of this book, because I have been following Sabine and known each other for quite a few years, and I watched from outside having the other two books, created and published, and then maybe this was my time, I felt. And when Sabine was talking about the title, A Shift, first I was my first thought was that I went through so many shifts in my life, so I wanted to share that transformation. But then when I started to write the story, I realized that yes, I had many shifts, but obviously the latest, how I went through this COVID as a single mom, and I wasn't able to work, and I had to completely change my business and come up with new ideas to be able to just earn money to feed my family, that was the biggest one. So I managed to have my story absolutely around the COVID and not just shifts general as I first thought I would. So I don't know what else to share.
Brilliant. Would you like to share your mantra?
Yes, definitely.
So beautiful.
Thank you. That this is my own, so it's not a quote for somewhere else. And that I thought I was strong and bold enough already, but life showed me that there is space for improvement.
Brilliant. Okay, so what we got next? Just checking in the book. We're going alphabetical order. Harry is not here. Okay, we'll go with Hugh. H. We're at Hugh. Hello, Hugh. Make sure you're unmuted. Let me see if I can unmute you. You need to press the mute on the bottom left. Here we go.
Sorry about that.
There we go.
Good morning from Canada.
Morning.
And thank you very much for the invitation to be part of this great group. On a very personal note, we haven't had an opportunity to read each other's stories. And so I am truly looking forward to receiving the book, which I've ordered on Amazon. And in fact, I've ordered multiple copies because I want to read everybody else's story. I am so excited about this venture, this journey that we're all on. My story has a past, a present, and a future look. My career is being in healthcare for 35 years. I'm now retired. And I went back to an event in 2010 where I became a patient for the first time in my life. And what I learned being a patient and how I was vulnerable and I gave my body away to a group of strangers. And yet I was a professional, I was a senior leader in healthcare, and I thought I understood healthcare. There's nothing like being a patient in a bed and being frightened to have a whole new understanding of the human dynamics and relationships. And so the event was kind of field work for me, and it reinforced the importance of caring relationships. And I took that forward to help organizations and teams and people truly embrace the notion of relationship building and the power that comes from healthy relationships. COVID brought me back into healthcare. And while I couldn't physically be in the hospitals, I did a lot of coaching online, and I got to see again firsthand the heroes on the front line, the courage of individuals, the relationship building that they were doing. But I also heard the stories about how they had to shift. And they went home every evening not knowing were they taking this dreaded disease home with them, and would it have an impact on their loved ones? And so I marveled at their courage and dedication of going into that environment every day. And then my wife reminded me that I'm retired and said, Hugh, you've kind of gone crazy here with wanting to give and care and give out to others, but where's the balance? And a new shift came about, and that was, well, wait a minute, how do I use technology as a new enabler to create different kinds of relationships? And then you came into my life and you said, well, here's an opportunity. And so we collectively, using technology, because that's how we have communicated, to build 25 rich stories, which will hopefully fuel new conversations going forward into the future.
Brilliant.
So that's my story.
Let's share your very quirky page, shall we?
Sure, love to. And so this quote, in a way, it's been paraphrased. This quote came from my greatest mentor in my life, my grandfather, who continues to whisper in my ears even today. And he said to me in his own way over and over again, Hugh, if you truly lean in to listen, all the information required to learn from each other is always present.
Beautiful.
And I try to incorporate his spirit, if you will, into my story.
Lovely.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Hugh. We're going to have Marie next.
Hello, everybody. I'm also bringing you greetings from Canada, but different side of the country than Hugh. And I'm also very honored to be a part of this collection of authors with their inspiring stories, and looking so much forward to reading them all. Thank you to Sabine and to Sharon for all the work that you've done to make this happen, and Sabine's team. So that's great. My story was about, I was already working with a virtual business. And so when COVID happened, that was not an issue for me, but I jumped to help other people with their technical problems. And in so doing, I hit head on human suffering in ways that I had never imagined I would. So everything from having refugees live with us to our next door neighbors' teenage children cutting themselves became my reality. That while that was happening, my business crashed, and I just basically had to rebuild everything. But amazingly, opportunities came out of all of it when I started to just submit to the fact that being active and being competent is not the answer. Sometimes it's being still like the mountain so that the rivers can flow. And when that happens, that's when you truly come up with what you need to do, what's most important, come into contact with your purpose, and are able to serve in ways that allow you to also be taking care of yourself so that you don't crash and burn. So I'm sure it's a story that many people have. I just felt that my meeting with human suffering was at a level that I hadn't experienced before. I have experienced human suffering a lot, but not at that level. And not with so many deaths either. I believe I counted 25 close friends and relatives passing away. So it was quite a difficult year, yet I think it brought clarity and hope and ways to move forward that helped a lot of other people. So that's how we grow, through suffering. So that's it, I think. And thanks again for asking me to be a part of it. So my quote is, turn a setback into a comeback by Willie Jolly. And this is, if you think you're a dead bug, you may be able to turn over and crawl again. So that's the image.
Love it. Very, very creative. I just want to quickly give a shout out to Lisa, who is here, one of our co-authors from the Joy Book. Thank you so much for being here and supporting the new co-authors. And we also got a couple of other ladies here and gentlemen as well. I think Cliff and Gina and Marta Maria, who are also part of the book. And we may get a quick hello from them a bit later. Just want to get through the people that weren't interviewed yet in the morning. So who else have we got from the morning? I think, yeah, Cliff, Gina and Marta Maria. So just know they're also part of our book. So we're going to have Melanie next. Let me highlight you, Melanie.
Brilliant. I've unmuted myself.
Brilliant.
So lovely to see you all. And I just want to reiterate again, thank you, Sabine, and everybody who's been part of this book. It's so magical to be part of a collaboration like this. And I also cannot wait to read people's stories. Really excited. So why am I part of this book? Well, I know the lovely Yelena, who was part of one of Sabine's previous bestsellers. And I can't remember quite how it came on my radar, but I remember buying the book and loving it. I think it was Joy. I really loved it. And I think what I loved most about it is the power of vulnerability and sharing in helping us all grow individually. And I think this book offered a real opportunity to do that, because even as a life and career coach myself, we're meant to sort of, know how to deal with life and be in control and have all the tools. But when the pandemic hit, it was nonetheless an end of the earth moment for me, like many of us. And I think it really forced me to revise a lot of the things that I maybe had learned all over again, to be honest. So in essence, my story is really about the challenges that I faced, whether being in a long distance relationship and suddenly having this massive travel freeze, or being in the middle of egg freezing, the sort of fertility treatments and thinking, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Or like many of you guys being self-employed and panicking, is work going to dry up? How are in-person workshops going to work now? So it really forced me to, I guess, confront myself and dig deep to reconnect with those all important survival tools, which we need to connect with at moments of adversity. So that really is what my story is all about. It's about reconnecting to those survival tools, reconnecting to myself, and like many of you have said, sort of finding that stillness, I guess, amongst the whirlwind of shifts in every sense, really.
Brilliant. Let's just bring up your quote as well and your amazing image.
Thank you, Sabine. Yeah, so my quote: at moments of change, trust your instincts and make decisions that align with your leading values to optimize your happiness and growth.
Brilliant, fantastic. Thank you so much, Melanie.
You're welcome.
Next, we'll have Michael. Hello, Michael. Good to see you.
Hey everyone, good to see you, Sabine. It's great to be here. Really, really excited about today and the opportunity to have been a part of this project. Just really appreciate it for all your hard work and the team's hard work and everybody's stories. Really looking forward to reading the book, and yeah, I'm excited for my copy to come here soon. So yeah. I guess for me, my journey kind of like for lockdown kind of started a year before lockdown, because I had an injury which meant that I was locked down myself in my house for a few months. And so I couldn't do anything, I couldn't go anywhere. And it was a massive challenge for me. And I remember my cousin at the time saying to me, you need to utilize this time to come out of it better. And I was like, yeah, I'll do that. And I didn't. I just wasted away and really found myself in a really low place mentally and emotionally. And so when lockdown happened, when COVID hit and lockdown actually happened, I made a conscious decision that I wasn't going to allow that period of time to come out of that not better than the way I went in. And so this kind of mantra for me was birthed: better after lockdown. I want to be better. I need to be better. And on that journey, I was able to really begin to build a community around me in terms of people who also wanted to be better, whether that was through fitness, whether that was through my coaching and different events and stuff. And so this whole better after lockdown mantra was birthed. And I think it gave me a focus and a purpose that I didn't have previously when I'd injured myself. And it was what I kind of refer to in the book as a pause button moment, that actually life is so fast paced that it's not until something crazy happens, whether we lose our jobs or we lose a loved one or there's a relationship breakdown, that we have an opportunity to pause and think. And so, I think that period of time then, with everything that was happening in terms of race relations in the world, and it enabled me to have a more focused energy to be able to support and shift things in helping other organizations, charities, schools, try and deal with what that needed to look like moving forward. And so, it was for me an incredible season of growth, an incredible season of helping others, but also finding a space in me that I didn't know was there, and I truly left lockdown better. So yeah, that's me.
Brilliant. Let's just share your incredible image here and do us the honors.
Yeah, this is something that I kind of wrote myself when I had a lack of hope, and I was encouraging someone at the time, and I just simply said to them, look, hope is a simple belief that things can change, that something better and bigger awaits beyond your current situation. So always have hope.
Thank you so much. Appreciate being part of this. Go to Dr. Paul Snowden next. Hello, Paul.
Hey, everybody. How are you? Another greetings from Canada. And given the size of this country, it is perhaps no surprise that I'm not in the same location that Marie or Hugh are in, and I'm further afield in the Toronto area. But it's great to hear you all and all the stories, and I have to tell you how one, inspiring it is, and two, how I'm struck by each of our stories being a reflection of ourselves, and B, how we've taken something and used our talents to make something with it. And when I reflect on my story, it's no different. I'm a professor by day, consultant by night. And so my strengths and talents end up in studying things and researching things and sharing that knowledge. So it's perhaps no surprise that my story is along those lines. What I ended up doing as my way to move through COVID and find some control and make an impact was to actually go study organizations and see what they're doing. How are they doing it? And trying to make sense of those organizations that have perhaps found something positive and those that haven't, and what lessons can we learn from that. And that's the story I tell in my piece. And what I can tell you, and perhaps it's not surprising, is that the organizations that survived and thrived took a very different approach than those that struggled and withered. They took a very other-centric, higher purpose, and a something greater than themselves orientation, both in terms of their leadership and in terms of how they worked with their employees, as well as how they engaged with their customers and suppliers. And this, given everything we've talked about, is no surprise to us, but for many organizations, they did the exact opposite, which was they focused inwardly. They focused on preserving their survival, really. And needless to say, those that just focused on survival had a very difficult time. Some survived, some didn't. And the road was very, very bumpy. But those that had a higher purpose to the work they were doing and allowed their people to tap into that, actually created better and stronger organizations. And so that's the story that I've put together, and I've written it in the form of a diary. And so it's a non-traditional approach to this chapter, perhaps, but one that I hope is a useful and easy read. So that's a little bit about me and my story.
Thank you, Paul. It definitely is an easy read and an entertaining read as well. So let me share your diary.
So, Dear Diary, that is the title and the focus. And what I learned from this whole thing was, and the quote, empower your people with a higher purpose and simple decision-making guidelines that reinforce the values of your organization. And when you do that, people become engaged, they become joyful at work, and all those things that could never be done are done. So there you go.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Paul. Up next, we have Sharon.
Thank you, Sabine, and thank you for inviting me to be a part of this amazing journey with all of these wonderful people yet again. I was in the Rise book as well, and I was able to tell part of the story there, and found a really interesting thing happening. Pre-COVID, I had retreated into the mountains, starting to lick my wounds from a 30-year toxic corporate culture journey, and breakdowns and so on, fractured ground all around me. And I was losing hope. I was losing hope around people caring about other people. I was losing hope that in the 60s, we've been talking about climate change and saving our planet and being sustainable since then, and nothing's been done. And we still keep going down this crazy path. I'd been losing hope on, so many people were starting to identify, and had been for the last 10 years, that our economies are broken, that our cultures are broken, that corporates don't work. And yet we didn't shift. We had the technology in place 15 years ago to do remote working. And that was 15 years of spin cycle. No, we can't change. No, we can't change. No, we can't change. COVID hit. We changed. We changed in all of those different areas instantly, overnight. Suddenly we weren't traveling, climate change got impacted. Suddenly we were remote connecting on Zoom meetings like this and others. And suddenly we cared about the people. We cared about the frontline workers. We cared about the essential workers, the ones who are feeding us, the ones who are supplying all of the things we need to survive. The millionaires, however many millions they had, weren't as important anymore as the grocery store clerk who is carrying our bags of groceries to our cars. It was a shift, major shift. And suddenly my hope rose. My hope rose in the potential and the capability of all of us together, talking, conversing, and challenging our assumptions and our beliefs in shifting to a whole new global scale, breaking and growing from fractured ground, actually breaking it up and then growing from it and developing together with all of us, and where I can help to coach and lead and mentor others to do that themselves. So that was my story in this book. And my quote, and thank you, by the way, for the beautiful picture. This is awesome. I can no longer wait for my dream world to blossom. I have the vision and the expertise to make it real. It's up to me now to make it happen. That if we can inspire that in hundreds of thousands of other people, we will change this world.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Appreciate it. We got claps. Very deep.
Thank you.
We go with Vilma, last but not least, and then I'll share a bit about my story as well before we go. Hey, Vilma.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we're all good.
Good, thank you. Thank you very much for this session. Amazing. First time that I can listen to all of you and your story. So I got Kindle yesterday, so start to read everything to share with my friend, and I'm waiting for my paper book, of course. Next week should be at home. I want to thank Sabine for, first of all, putting this book to get to have this idea. And I don't know, maybe it's the universe. I was thinking about this, and doing alone was potentially not the right things to do. So I'm happy to be in a collaborative book and to work with others and to share and inspire other people. So that's really the purpose of this book for me, and I think for all of us. So thank you very much. For Sam, who work closely with all of us and with me to help really make this story become really a real story. So I'm French, living in Switzerland. I don't know if I'm the only French person, but you can hear my accent. Anyway, I understood very well English, but I still have my French accent. So sorry. About my story it's really about my transformation journey, which started in 2017 and continued during the pandemic and until today. The purpose is really to talk about all my challenge from a medical point of view. I went back and forth to hospital. I struggled a lot to stay alive, to relearn all the basics due to a stroke event and open heart surgery. I fight a lot against the disease, the pain, the physical change, and the mental. And also I lost my job in July 2020 after 15 years in corporate environment. Many questions came out, of course, and I think all of us have also same question, how to overcome with fear, with the distance, with your family and loved one, especially like me, when you are expat and isolated. I was living in the German part, speaking English and French, but not German, so really feel alone at this time. And when you are isolated. How also do you find strength to reinvent yourself when finally the rest of the world thinks that you are an invalid person? In this collaborative book is really important for me, and when we met, I think, okay, that's the right moment and that's a good opportunity and the right thing to do. I changed completely life, not working anymore in corporate because I can't due to some medical issue. So I need to take care of myself from, I would say, mental, from finance, and also find a new way to contribute to the society and the world. So in my new life, I'm a coach, I'm no practitioner, I'm mental health instructor, and I'm committed to help other people really to find their life purpose. I think that's the best motivation to wake up on the morning, and not only to find their life purpose, but to find the resource to really be enough strong to live their life the way they want. And I'm also business consultant due to my background as a biochemist and also as a project manager and strategic manager. So I'm helping other companies to develop and manage their organization in a sustainable way. And I also oriented and focus to make sure that in those companies, they take care of people, they take care of mental health education. I'm a scientist, so I'm looking for innovation. I'm working in R&D, and I also support the human resource thinking really to develop all talent and also to make sure that everyone will be integrated in a company, because we all have talent, whatever our situation, even if we have some sickness, illness, I will say, we all are able to contribute, to do something. So I want to make sure that inclusion is not just a word, but that it's really something that is applied within any company. That's all for me, I will say.
It is a very, very powerful story, and thank you very much for sharing this. Let's just share your beautiful image and your quote.
So my quote, I know we discussed about this, but it came from Karate Kid. And it's about me and it's about everybody, I think, in the life. You can, when life brings us to knees, we can choose to sit or stand up. And during the last 4 years, I have no choice. Either I stay in my bed and refuse to go back to relearn everything, how to eat, how to work, and to think about what I can do in my life, or I stand up and I decide that I will take my life responsibility, and I will say make the decision and not let others take the decision for me. That's why I put this quote.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And so with that, we have finished our rounds with the co-authors. I've just posted again the link where you can purchase the book. Just note there are potentially some glitches on Amazon. I've already been on a call with them, especially in the UK, because they're doing some updates with the system. So if the book isn't available to purchase, don't panic. Sign up for the bonus anyway, because I shall be sending out another email and say, hey, the book's now available. Okay, so if there is an issue, just do that and tell everybody else to do the same. Okay. So I just wanted to finish with my little quote and a bit of inspiration from my chapter. Here is my quote. I'll just show it to you sort of manually. There we go. And I just love the butterflies, because for me, the lockdown and the pandemic was about freeing myself. And actually my chapter is called breaking old norms, because that's what it was all about. All of a sudden, we could do things which we would have never thought were possible. My quote is, you already have wings. All you have to do is fly. And I'm going to read the last paragraph of my chapter here to give you the last inspiration. So I believe this pandemic signifies the start of a new era, which made us consider our core values in life, challenge the human imbalances that were created through man-made rules, and started to change perceptions of how we think we should or should not live our lives. Let's embrace the shift and let the new era begins. With that, I would like to thank all of you. Very proud of the whole team. grab the book, share the love, share the inspiration. Thank you so much for coming to our launch event. Take care.